Okay, everyone. Hi, thank you so much for attending this PrimeTimers Klezmer concert and Fiddler on the Roof sing-along. We are joined by Jeff and Jennifer Wolfeld, and I'm going to invite one of our PrimeTimers advisory board members, Alan Brewis, to introduce Jeff and Jennifer to us. So take it away, Alan.
I'm Alan Bruce, just in case you didn't know. These are my two closest friends from California, Jennifer and Jeff. And I'll give you a kind of an analysis of who they are, a rundown. Jeff's piano career began at age 7 and ended at age 9, when it became apparent that playing the piano involved making his left hand and right hand do different things at the same time. Fortunately, he switched to a clarinet, which is a one-handed instrument, and since then has played in every sort of classical arrangement, from bands to orchestras to solo performances to chamber groups. He currently plays regularly in the Stanford Philharmonia Orchestra. Jeff's Klezmer career started with Stanford Klezmer Band, going on to form Klezmer Square at Congregation Bethel in Los Altos Hills, California. During the day when he has nothing else to do, he squeezes in his career as a software engineer at Cisco Systems. Then, speaking of the pretty girl in the black hat, his wife Jennifer, the question is, how does a bassoonist become a pianist in a klezmer band? And here's her story. Jennifer grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, has lived in Boston and Munich. She was a principal bassoonist with the Stanford Wind Ensemble, the Münchner Philharmoniker Abnoten Orchestra, the Newton Symphony Orchestra, and is currently a member of the Stanford Philharmonia. But the Stanford Klezmer Band needed a pianist, someone who could bang out the chords in a unique klezmer style. Well, having grown up listening to klezmer music alongside of her classical training, she was just completely comfortable in donning that black klezmer hat. And so, together with her husband, Jeff, they provided the klezmer experience to Stanford University students who wanted to learn about klezmer music. Eventually, along with other talented congregants, they formed the Klezmer Square, Temple Betham's very own klezmer band, adding joyful energy, is a linguist, holds advanced degrees in linguistics from Harvard University and in foreign language education from Stanford. She currently teaches English and communication skills at Carnegie Mellon and at tech companies in Silicon Valley. And now, my friends, Jen and Jeff, take it away. Does everybody hear me?
hope you enjoyed that. It's sort of weird not being able to actually be in your presence, but we'll do the best we can. So welcome to an evening of klezmer music and sing along to Fiddler on the Roof. I imagine that most of you, if not all of you, know Fiddler on the Roof tunes, but you might not know a lot about klezmer music or what exactly is klezmer music. So just, this will not be a lecture, this is going to be very brief, but how do you know you're listening to klezmer music? Well, there's a certain rhythm that you just heard that identifies it. Or those are a couple of the rhythms. So there's also waltzes. That's sort of the influence of Russian Jews. They love waltzes. We're going to be playing a variety of music, including waltzes today. And just a little bit about where klezmer comes from. The klezmer that we know today started in Central and Eastern Europe in the shtetl. And as they immigrated to the United States, probably mid-1800s, klezmer became a part of Jewish life here, and in the 20s and 30s really blossomed. Then sort of went dormant until about the 1970s, where there was this revival, this renaissance, and what we're still enjoying today. Because klezmer music is so much fun. It's not actually sitting still music. So if you feel like, you know, or getting up and dancing or clapping, please give yourself permission to do that. It's hard not to move. Just a little bit more about why klezmer music was played so often in Jewish communities. Well, probably like most music, it was to express joy and happiness and, you know, something wonderful to do at a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah. And it also expressed a lot of sadness and the tragedy of life. So all of this is in the mix of klezmer music, and you'll hear a little bit sort of representative pieces of all that. I really meant when I said about dancing. So the last tune that we just played, by the way, was called, a lot of these are in Yiddish, it's called Der Neue Freilech, and I'm going to let my husband tell you what that means. It's got something to do with happiness.
Yeah,
right.
Freilech is just a happy dance, and Neer just means what was it? It was the
new.
New. Oh yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
if there's any Yiddish experts, you can put that in the chat box or something, right? Tell us what it is. So I just explained a little bit about the rhythm, and the there's also a certain mode or a scale that is indicative of klezmer music. There is a variety, but one of them I think you all have known for a while, and this comes from Israel. And we're just going to play a little bit of this, what we mean by this mode, this klezmer mode. It's Middle Eastern or Mediterranean the mode comes from Greece and Turkey and North Africa, and is incorporated into Israeli dances now. So this is part of the klezmer repertoire. So I'm sure you've all heard this. Familiar to a lot of. So that's what we mean by the mode, or sort of the scale that they use. So the next piece that we're going to be playing is in that mode and with that rhythm, and it's called Turk in America, spelled T-E-R-K. And from the little research I did on this word, it's a kind of a dance, and it does come from Turkey, and was played quite often when klezmer music in its heyday in the beginning of the 20th century So without further ado, I think play that.
Yep.
Okay. So the next piece we're going to be playing is called Nifty's Freilich, and again,
I'll take over.
you can take over. Yeah.
So it's another Freilach, which is another happy dance. Nifty is short for Naftuli, and there was a very, very famous, very influential clarinet player near the turn of the 19th century, like early 19th century, named Naftuli Brandwein, or Brandewine. And you can hear his recordings which were done in wax, or some of them anyway, or early recordings anyway. And you can hear them on YouTube if you search for it. And this is called Nifty's Freilich. It's one of the pieces that he popularized. Okay, so now
is,
we're going to play a waltz now. And this
so
is actually,
again, time to get up and dance. Go ahead.
you all know how to waltz, right? So this is called, it's actually two waltzes that we're putting together into one sort of a sequence. We'll cycle through one and the other in the back. It's called Mazel and Schleumeli. And these were popularized by Molly Picon, if you know that name.
So that was kind of sad, melancholy, but I hope you guys, some of you are waltzing. The next one on the docket is,
Bulgar.
Bulgar. Okay, do you want to talk about that one?
This is called, we call this affectionately Bulgar number 18. And the reason is because many of these klezmer tunes, they never had names, or they had multiple names depending on who played them. And
This was number 18.
This was number 18 in the book of music that one of the bands had. It's actually a common band, Kamen. And it actually, with a little research, I did find another name for it. In Yiddish, it's called Hu nimmt man a bissel Bash, which, if you know Yiddish, you could probably correct me on this, but it means, where can I get a little cash? This is a very popular one. You've probably heard this one before. 1, 2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can see you clapping. I can't hear you clapping.
It's so weird not to be able to hear the clapping.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so Nigun, you want to
Yeah.
talk about Nigun?
So this next one is a Nagoon. Now a Nagoon is just a song without words. It's usually quite contemplative, which this one is. And this is written by a clarinetist, a modern clarinetist named Giora Feidman, who some of you may have heard of. He actually was, for a long time, he was the principal clarinetist in the Israel Philharmonic, but he had this klezmer thing on the side going, and he was very successful at it. And some of us grew up on his recordings and sheet music. So this is one of his pieces. It's called Long Live the Nagoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you didn't have your music.
It's one of my
Okay.
favorite.
Yeah. So.
Oh, this next one is called, well, it's got several names, but this one we call Mayofis, which means my beautiful. And it has, if you look this one up, you'll find it's got probably 5 or 6 different titles as well. This one we're going to start with something called a doina. A doina is, if you listen to professional klezmer groups, you will hear a lot of improvisation. What?
At the beginning.
Yeah, I could say that. At the beginning of the piece, there's going to be this improvised section which sort of sets the tone. It's very much in the klezmer mode. So you'll hear the scales and the sort of the very typical chord progression. And here we go, Mayofis.
My Beautiful. And we have one more Klezmer tune to play, and this I think Jeff's going to talk to you about. It's called The Epsteins, but they have a little bit of story.
There's a story behind this one too. So the Epsteins is the name of a family, a Klezmer group, a family, 3 brothers actually, that lived in New York City in the early part of the 20th century, well, early to mid part of the 20th century. And as Jennifer mentioned, there was a big heyday of Klezmer music there. They were very active. They played lots of weddings, bar mitzvahs, all sorts of simchas, whatever happened. But after some time, the popularity of Klezmer music actually faded somewhat. And they really kind of stopped playing. They didn't get as much business. So they stopped playing for a while. As they got older, they moved as a family to Florida, where you guys are. And guess what they found there? They found a lot of New York Jews who really wanted to to listen to more Klezmer music. And their business picked up right away. And it's actually a wonderful story. There's a movie, a documentary that you can see. It's called A Tickle in the Heart. A Tickle in the Heart, and it's all about these brothers. And it's very heartwarming. It's beautiful. So this is a piece that's named after them. It's called the Epsteins. It probably has other names too, but this is very well associated with that group. 1, 2.
tunes. Maybe this last one. So let's see. So we're going to transition into Fiddler on the Roof with a song that you all know.
So this is something that, this is, before we get to Fiddler on the Roof, we're going to transition into jazz for just one song. This is a piece that I guarantee you've all heard. This is called By Mir Bist Du Schön. Okay, you know it, right? Okay. This was first recorded by the Andrews Sisters in 1937. And they were not well known at the time, but this catapulted them to the top of the charts. And within 30 days, within 30 days, 250,000 copies of their record had been sold. 250,000 copies, okay, in 1937. And 200,000 copies of the sheet music, which means people were like singing it or playing it on their pianos. It was originally recorded in English, even though the words were originally in Yiddish. It was recorded in English because the record producer just refused to take it Yiddish. It turned out to be, financially a good idea to do it that way. But there are still a few Yiddish words in it if you know the words. There's an interesting story from Life magazine, where Life magazine claims that at the time, music stores were inundated by baffled customers trying to purchase a record which they misidentified as either Buy a Beer, Mr. Shane, or My Mere Bits of Shame.
Go figure.
Go figure. I could tell you're singing. Some of you were singing the words. That's great.
Actually, Ella Fitzgerald did this in English, had recording of this in English. So, on to Fiddler on the Roof. Everybody has their song sheets ready. So just to recap the order, we're going to play the opening Fiddler on the Roof, and then Sunrise, Sunset, Matchmaker, Sabbath Prayer, and then ending with To Life.
So the way this works is we play and you sing.
Okay, so on to sunrise, sunset. Every time I sing this song, I start crying. I'm not going to sing, I'm just going to play piano, so. So it must be, let's see. We are now going to change the moods a little bit and sing Matchmaker. So let's see. That's on page
10.
right. I hope you enjoyed that. And going on to something a little bit more somber, prayer-like, is Sabbath prayer.
I bet some of you have never actually read the actual lyrics before. Some of them are quite surprising. I was surprised when I read some of them.
Okay. So that's a really lovely song. To close and to send you off in a great spirit and with lots of energy, we're going to play. The last one is called "To Life," and here we go.
Feel free to clap along too while you're
Yes.
singing.
So that's it, folks. I hope that made you happy.
You made us very happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, both of you, for
Thank
the
you for
time
inviting
that you
us.
spent with us. We love you. We love you. Everybody else now loves you.
We do.
Great.
We love you. Like Alan said, we love you.
Yay.
Next time in Florida.
Yay.
Yeah, standing ovation, standing ovation.
Yay.
Thank you very much for having us. It was
Yes,
fun.
wonderful. Jeff and Jennifer, thank you so much. That was amazing. I was doing the whole time, singing along. I had such a great time, and I think everyone here did too. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure. So,
Thank you for all your hard work.
okay.
And if you're ever in Orlando, see Sephora.
Thank you, Jen and Jeff. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome, guys. Thanks a lot.
It was a wonderful program. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thanks to the Primetime board too. You did a good job. You
Yes.
did a good thing. Good job, you guys.
Our Prime Timers Advisory Board is the most amazing board ever, and they helped get Jen and Jeff here, especially
Exactly.
Alan, yeah, Alan. We owe Alan big time.
yes.
But I'd rather owe you than cheat you out of it, so it's okay.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Well, I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you so much for joining this Prime Timers concert. Be on the lookout for our next event. And thank you so much for joining us.
And thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Jennifer.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.